Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, politics is a dirty game. We know this. It is a filthy game. You've got to get down and dirty. You've got to have blood on your hands. You've got to eat whatever you're given, you know? And for some, they revel in it. And for some, they can't handle it and they fail miserably once they grab hold of power. That's what's happening with the Labour Party, certainly. But this video isn't about Labour. You can tell that. It's Farage is in the thumbnail. But the reason I bring up about politics being a dirty game is what I'm about to tell you, because I don't disbelieve it. There's a guy, his name is Gawain Towler. He's a spin doctor, he's an advisor, and he's worked closely with Nigel Farage for 20 years now. He's very senior in there, and he has revealed that senior Conservatives are so worried, are so depressed about the future of themselves and of the party in particular, even to an existential threat to the party that Reform show, that they have made astonishing comments. Mr. Towler, said he has personally heard senior Tories, now he hasn't said whether they're MPs, Lords, Wonks, old hands, things like that, but senior Tories saying that the party's best strategy for coming back and being successful again is for Nigel Farage to die. To die. Now, I'm going to say here, absolutely, I'm not for one moment suggesting that the senior Tories are planning on Nigel Farage being assassinated, taken out, a la JFK or anything. No mention of that. What they're looking for is a nice, quiet, natural death. Or so it would make it look like an accident 007, you know, something like that. What they're claiming is this is a man who drinks, who smokes, he's relatively unhealthy apparently, and they're hoping that he carks it in the next 4 years. Otherwise, they're finished, possibly as a party. They're hoping to God. Now, if that's the best they've got, their best plan for success, their best chances in an election is for the opposition, as far as they're concerned, leader to die a good natural death in his bed, then it goes to show that they've got nothing. Nothing. How can that be your winning strategy? Hoping somebody dies. Waiting to pop his clogs is not a good election strategy, is it? Now, Towler left Reform last year, 20 years, after working with Nigel. He said he'd had enough. He just wanted to go away from politics. It's a nasty, dirty business. But when he's had that, you can understand. He said, but he still dips in and out. He still deals with Nigel on a regular basis. He's still in and around the world of politics. He's just not imbuing himself with all this. And he said, and he's been around. He says he was a thorn in the side of Brussels, and now he's a thorn in the side of both the Tories and Labour. He says, but that seems to be the policy. Let's hope Nigel dies. Now, this claim's coming. And at the moment, of course, Nigel and Reform, they're topping every poll. And not just topping it by a big distance, 10 points. You know, it's not something that can be closed quickly, easily. It's not something that can be remediated in a single policy decision. I think they're right. I think possibly the death of Nigel Farage is the only thing that's saving them. By the way, have you ever seen The Death of Stalin? Brilliant film. If you haven't seen it, find it, watch it. It's genius. But we're actually the same way. The only way I think we can save this country now is the death of a lot of top politicians. Because let's face it, Starmer isn't going to go unless the Labour MPs get rid of him. So, a visit from the big fella with the scythe possibly would be there. I'm not calling for it. I'm just saying, happenstance, natural causes. Wouldn't wish anyone, not telling anyone. But why not? See, the Tories don't have that problem because they're ruthless. They will get Kemi out like that. But it's very hard to remove a Labour leader because of the rules they have. Whereas the Tories will just, you're gone in hours. Boom, it's done. It's done. So getting rid of Kemi is not a problem. You don't have to wait for the pale horse, as it were. Labour, you might have to. But when they're both sitting there thinking, oh God, please let Farage die. Oh dear. Now, he was also asked about this great big push, why so many Tory MPs are interested in joining Reform. He says, well, there's two types of people who would come from the Tories and join Reform. He says there's true Tories who have proper, belief in what's going on. He says, and he would quite welcome them. He says the trouble is there's so few Tories left. He says, but the likes of maybe Jacob Rees-Mogg, he would welcome, a couple of like that. Suella Braverman, possibly. He said, because they're true Tories. They have true Tory values. He says, but most of them, he said, coming across, he said, he tries to think of them as chancers, survivalists, hanging on to grim death because they don't want to lose their power. And more importantly, income, because it's a cold, hard world out there. And what do you do if you're an ex-politician? Especially if you're a failed ex-politician. They're not going to be, lining up at your door willing to offer you good, well-paid jobs. He says, so there's only maybe a handful of Tories that he would accept. He says probably 85 to 90% of them, he would just say no. So, yeah, the Tories can't exactly rely on Reform accepting them. And so they know that 90% of them know that the only way to keep their jobs is sayonara Nigel. I like Gawain. I think Gawain is spot on. I think he's reading the room. Apparently, Truss, he's admitted, has been in talks with Reform. Heard it here first. Well, no, it's been around. But yeah, he's confirmed it. She has been in talks with Reform. So I'll call it. I think Truss would join. I think Truss is one of those that Reform would have. Not many, though. Here we go. So what do you think? Would Truss join Reform? And more importantly, is the death of Nigel the only thing that can save the Tories? Much to think about. Bye.